What if Apple's first foldable already has its final design leaked? Right now, you're looking at images shared by well-known tipster Majin Buu, and if these leaks are even close to accurate, then Apple is about to take a very different approach to foldables. At first glance, this doesn't look like a typical foldable phone. Instead of a tall, narrow design like most devices on the market, this iPhone Fold appears wider, almost like a compact tablet that folds into a phone. And that right there is the biggest shift. Because for years, companies like Samsung, Huawei have been pushing vertical foldables. But now, the trend is slowly moving toward wider formats, and Apple seems ready to jump in at the perfect moment. But here's where things get interesting. According to these leaks, the iPhone Fold could feature a dual-camera setup placed in a horizontal module, something that looks very clean and minimal, almost like classic Apple design language. No bulky camera bump, no crazy shapes, just simple and refined. And then there's the inner display. If you look closely, the bezels appear slightly thicker than a normal iPhone, and that might actually be intentional. Why? Because Apple could be focusing on durability over ultra-thin aesthetics. Foldables are fragile by nature, so Apple might be sacrificing thinness to make something that actually lasts. Now let's talk about the biggest question, the crease. While these images don't clearly show it, multiple reports suggest Apple is working on a hinge mechanism designed to reduce or nearly eliminate the crease. If they pull this off, it instantly solves one of the biggest complaints users have had with foldables for years. Now here's the twist. Some reports claim Apple might actually be late again. Brands like Huawei are already experimenting with wider foldables, and Samsung is expected to follow soon. So instead of leading, Apple might be entering a space that's already evolving fast. But if there's one thing Apple is known for, it's not being first. It's being better. And that brings us to the biggest question. Is this really the final design? Because if it is, then Apple is clearly focusing on practicality over flashiness, a wider display, simpler cameras, and potentially better durability. But if this is just an early prototype, then there's still a lot we haven't seen yet. Either way, one thing is clear. The iPhone Fold isn't trying to copy the competition. It's trying to quietly redefine what a foldable should be. A report from TrendForce suggests that Apple's entry could significantly shake up the segment, helping the company capture an estimated 19.3% share of the foldable market by 2026. This would place Apple in the third position globally, just behind Huawei and Samsung. Despite being a late entrant, Apple is expected to benefit from strong brand loyalty and a massive user base that has been waiting for a foldable iPhone. Analysts believe this pent-up demand, combined with Apple's tightly integrated ecosystem, could quickly establish it as a major player in the foldable category. On the hardware side, leaks are starting to paint an impressive picture. According to Tipster fixed-focus digital cameras, Apple's foldable could feature one of the most advanced displays yet. The inner screen is rumored to have an almost invisible crease, with a level of flatness that may even surpass current foldable smartphones. While the exact technology hasn't been fully detailed, it's clear Apple is focusing heavily on display refinement to stand out from competitors. A key part of this strategy appears to be material innovation. Apple is reportedly working on minimizing the display crease using advanced solutions such as a redesigned hinge with 3D printing, liquid metal components, and dual layers of ultra-thin glass. Another crucial element is the use of optically clear adhesive, OCA, which helps improve display uniformity and durability. Further insights come from Tipster Digital Chat Station, who claims Apple may introduce a completely new display structure. This includes a dual-layer UTG, UFG glass setup, self-healing glass technology, and a seamless hinge design. Interestingly, the display layer is said to be positioned in the middle rather than directly attached to the hinge, which could significantly reduce creasing and improve long-term durability. Overall, Apple's approach suggests it isn't just entering the foldable market, it's aiming to redefine it with a near-crease-free experience and a strong focus on premium build quality. But the big question is, was it worth the long wait? A recently leaked prototype video has revealed the first early look at Apple's upcoming devices, including the iPhone 18 Pro, iPhone 18 Pro Max, and the highly anticipated iPhone Fold. The Fold appears extremely thin, even when closed, and when fully opened, its display is close in size to an iPad mini. This clearly shows Apple's goal of combining a smartphone and tablet into one portable device. At the same time, reports of a 23% year-on-year increase in iPhone sales confirm that demand for Apple products remains strong. The prototype footage highlights a very slim folding mechanism. When unfolded, the device offers a tablet-like surface designed to deliver a bigger screen experience in your pocket. Apple seems to be focusing on a thinner and more refined design compared to existing foldables. However, this also raises concerns about durability, whether such a thin build can handle long-term use without issues in the hinge or display. Competitors have been working on these challenges for years, and Apple is now entering a more mature market. This concern is also reflected in the community. A tweet from Majin Buu suggests that after 7 years without a foldable iPhone, Apple had enough time to perfect the design, yet this version doesn't feel like a major evolution considering the weight. It highlights the high expectations people have from Apple. Even so, Apple's 23% sales growth gives the company room to experiment with new form factors. Still, these are early prototypes and key aspects like performance, durability, and software optimization remain unclear. Apple is always focused on delivering a polished product, even if it arrives late. But with so many foldables already available, the long wait could impact user excitement. Now, the real question is, will Apple truly redefine foldables, or just catch up to the competition? And if everything goes smoothly, it could launch alongside the iPhone 18 lineup in September 2026. Earlier leaks pointed to Samsung Display ramping up production of foldable panels, and now that timeline is being supported again. According to leaker Instant Digital on Weibo, the iPhone Fold has officially entered trial production at Foxconn. This stage focuses on testing the assembly process, especially how the folding display is integrated. If these tests are successful, mass production could begin around July, right in line with Apple's typical schedule for its Pro models. On the hardware side, new details highlight a major focus on the hinge. Reports claim Apple is working on a 3D printed hinge designed to minimize the crease on the folding display. This could be combined with materials like liquid metal and dual-layer glass to improve durability and flexibility. This approach isn't entirely new, as Apple has already used similar technology to reduce creases in its foldables. However, Apple's goal appears to be pushing this even further. The company already uses 3D printing in some of its products, making this a practical and efficient solution. Overall, the iPhone Fold seems to be progressing steadily, with strong focus on build quality and crease reduction, two key factors that could define its success. Here we have the first official hands-on unboxing video of the iPhone Fold, allegedly showing the first ever real look at the upcoming iPhone Fold. And honestly, this is not your typical leak. This looks different. This feels different. The video, originally shared by a well-known tipster Mr. Saw 3D, shows what appears to be a full unboxing experience. And right from the start, the packaging gives off that classic Apple vibe: minimal, clean, and premium. As the box is slowly opened, you can clearly see a device inside that resembles a foldable form factor, something Apple has never officially released before. If this turns out to be real, Apple might have already perfected foldable optimization behind the scenes. The hinge design also deserves attention. From what we can see, it looks extremely tight and polished, possibly aiming to eliminate the visible crease that we usually see in other foldable phones. A new video shared on Twitter by AppleTrack is starting to shift that perception. Apple might have quietly solved one of the biggest problems in foldable tech. Thank you so much for joining me in this video. If you enjoyed what you saw, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. See you in the next video. Peace out.